around him, he can be the quarterback of the future. He's already proven he can do so much with so little.
Ooh, Robert, I agree. And the Bears have some huge decisions to make this offseason, okay? They currently hold the #1 pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. They're projected to have $95 million in cap space, nearly $40 million more than the next closest team. That is some cash to play with, okay? They got plenty of work to do, right? Especially on defense after allowing the most points per game in the NFL this season. Of course, remember, they did trade away Roquan Smith. Jeff, we start with you. What have you heard about Chicago's plans for that #1 overall pick?
Well, look, I think that we need to understand something here. Just because the Chicago Bears don't come out right away and say, hey, we're not taking a quarterback first overall, Justin Fields is our guy, doesn't mean that that won't eventually be the case. They need to do their due diligence in terms of creating leverage for that first overall pick if they do decide to trade it. And maybe they do find that they're not getting enough for it, and they do think about the idea of drafting someone like Bryce Young. Ultimately, my point in this, the Bears will do their homework. They will assess who is willing to maybe trade into that spot, whether it's the Colts or the Texans, if they can create a bidding war of sorts. So basically, a lot left to do for this team to figure out exactly what they can get and exactly what they will do.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Irsay was like, yeah, we will go up and get somebody however high we have to go to get a quarterback. I can't believe, Jeff, you're telling me that some of these NFL teams try to keep their cards close to their vest. Anyway, Key, what do you think the Bears need to address this offseason?
Well, I agree with Jeff. I think they need to move out of the #1 spot first and foremost. You collect some picks. You get maybe a one, you exchange for whatever one. Maybe you pick up 2 ones in this situation, one this year, one next year. And then what you do is I talked about alpha dog receivers. You go to Cincinnati and you say to Cincinnati, hey, we know that you're trying to win a Super Bowl right now, but we want T. Higgins. And you take that one carrot and you dangle it in front of him, they'll probably tell you, well, we want a 1 and a 3. And you know what you do? You say, okay, I'll tell you what. We'll give you a 1 and a 3 for T. Higgins, because if you wait till next year when he becomes an unrestricted free agent, you now have an opportunity to get him now. You'll be in a long line of people trying to say, well, we want him, we'll pay more money. You're in front of the line now. And then Cincinnati can take that 1 or that 3rd round pick or even a 2nd round pick and find a wide receiver to replace him and reset the money in the room, because you got to deal with Jamar Chase down the line anyway.
Yeah, Key, I like that idea with T. Higgins, but if they can't get a guy in free agency and or trade like with Higgins, there's some dogs in the draft right now. You're talking about guys like Zay Flowers, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Quentin Johnston, Jordan Addison. I mean, the list goes on and on. Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee. There's opportunities for the Bears to get wide receivers to put around Justin Fields, but they got to build that offensive and defensive line. When you look at the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, they both were able to dominate on both sides of the ball when they wanted to in Kansas City and all year long for the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Bears have to get back to that gritty style of ball that they play in the weather that they play in, and add to the offensive line so Justin Fields isn't running for his life, and add to the defensive line so they can control the line of scrimmage.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.